Alright, hey guys, so today back another video. We are going to go over some additions to my computer collection because it has grown quite a lot. I acquired, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've acquired 8 more computers, not including these ones that I've ordered that I'm going to go over in a few minutes. But the 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 5 computers that were listed for free on Marketplace that were unknown working condition. He did say this G4 worked. It has a DVD super drive and a zip drive. There's no zip. I don't have any zip disks for it. This Dell Inspiron 1 that didn't have a charger for it, or the power supply charger where it uses a laptop charger, but it didn't have it. Got it. This thing doesn't work. And it had, I think it was these sticks of RAM. Yeah, it had 4 gigs of DDR3. And I've got some extra, I think these are 4 gig DDR3 sticks. Yeah. And then there was a 256 gig 2230 drive. I got some, I think hopefully these are blank DVRs from work. This ThinkPad wasn't included in it, but this G4 Cube was. And this thing was disgusting. But it's missing its power supply, so I have to find one. And then this 1 terabyte laptop drive was in that Lenovo all-in-one up there. That has an i7-8700 desktop CPU with, I think it's 16 gigs of RAM that I might steal from it because it needs a new motherboard because BitLocker was enabled in the seller. It said it didn't work, but I don't know. But this is a Core 2 Duo machine, and it had a 320 gig Seagate Barracuda. And then this is really cool. A WD Velociraptor. 12th February 2009, 300 gig. But as you guys have been staring at, I bought a tough book. I bought a couple tough books. This one is a CF53 with 4th gen i5. As you can see, it was 5355. The seller says it stopped powering on one day, and I had him send me the lights it was flashing for the code. And I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I also bought a battery for the CF53, and then I won an auction for another CF53. And I'm pretty sure this is a 2nd gen i5. No hard drive or caddy. The other one has the hard drive and caddy. And then I got a Geetac F110 G2 Windows 11 installed for $35. And I think there was $12 shipping, so it comes out like 50 something that I have to pay in the morning. Yeah, so it's $12.68 shipping. But it does that. But he says it has 2 new OEM batteries, supposedly. And it has a 5505U or 5500U with 8 gigs of RAM. So it's DDR3 SODIMM, so I figured I could use that. And if need be, I can sell the batteries, part it out. But this is the first tough book I bought. It is in really nice condition. There is a small dent right there. But it's got a headphone microphone, powered battery light, charging indicator, wireless LAN switch. If I can get this open. It is a touchscreen. The first CF53 is not a touchscreen. I wanted a touchscreen to put in that one if I can get it working. But this one has a whole Core 2 Duo with 4 gigs of RAM and a 120 gig SSD. Wonder if it's still charged. Ooh. But what I found interesting on this is it tracks power on hours. And from what I've read, there's no way to change it. Even clearing the CMOS and pulling out the battery doesn't reset it. But it has 40 hours. It had 30 on it, but I've been ripping a couple DVDs to it. Well, I guess one. But he said it was a 1.8 gigahertz Core 2 Duo, which would have been the base model, or 1.6. But it has the highest in all 2.4 P8600. As you can see, 120 gig SATA drive, which is an SSD. And right now I have a Linux distro on it. I might put 8.1 on it, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But this is a T480, as you might be able to make out. My lighting situation is kind of bad. But this was a bare bones laptop from my local recycling center. And all I saw was i5 8th gen, USB-C charging, Thunderbolt, fingerprint reader over here. And they wanted 50. I recycled some stuff. They brought it down to 35. And it has the base model 8250U. I slapped in 16 gigs of RAM. I had a random SSD lying around, so it's 256 gig SATA drive. I had a 2 terabyte for it, but I had to put an RMA request in for it because it was set to write protect. And I don't know what is up with that. But for $35 and the parts I had lying around, I cannot complain. There is one small defect, and it's slightly cracked right there in the housing. But the battery health is kind of iffy. It lasts about an hour, and then the battery's just, the percentage just falls off. Like, this Toughbook is definitely not great, but it's still faster than my dad's laptop for some reason. And to be honest, I might just let him use this, because his laptop is just horrid. But as you can see, it plays DVDs great. This thing's still at 86%. The screen is not too terribly bright. It says I have 2 hours and 14 minutes remaining. That is actually inaccurate. I usually get... I tested this last week, and I was getting about 7 hours of watching DVDs. I mean, the contrast is not great, but like, for what I'm going to use it for, it's perfectly usable. You know, I can't get the touchscreen to calibrate properly, because he won't grab the stylus if I can find it. Sorry for getting my hand in the way of the camera. But like, if I tap in the middle of the screen, I can't really see it, but it's just a little off. But if I go up here and tap, it is so far off, it's not even funny. And I've tried calibrating it over and over, and it just does not work. But got your DVD drive right here. This is the hard drive sled. A single USB port right here. And on the back, you've got your battery. And then back here, VGA serial and Ethernet modem. The Wi-Fi speeds on this are absolute garbage. Does not really like my router. DCN. Crud. That is a port replicator. An SD card. Is there a SIM card up there? No, it's just an SD card port replicator. And then a single USB port right there. And then express card. Pretty sure it's express card and PC card. I don't think it's PCMCIA. It always trips me up. But what else was it gonna? Yeah, so I'm gonna be getting out of model trains for now because it is an absolute disaster over there, and that is a scale trains rivet counter engine that's a part behind the DC controller. I had a Soundtrax sound decoder, and it fried on me. Sent it off, RMA'd it, got it back, put it in, ran the locomotive around for like not even 10 minutes, and the thing just started smoking. So I immediately cut the power, and it was fried again. I'm not even sure if I want to RMA it again, but it was $125 for that decoder, and I don't really want to lose out on that money. I'm going to put the camera down for a second, grab the G4, because that is the power supply connector. Got your modem, dual USB, dual FireWire, Ethernet, ADB, and VGA. I have the cinema display for it, but it's missing its stand. But my favorite feature, and just pull a computer out. There we go. I don't remember which G4 model it is. It's 450 megahertz. It says it has 64 megs RAM. It has more than that. DVD-ROM, 56K modem. It came with the speakers originally, apparently. But it doesn't... Darn it. Whoops. Alright. So you can see, this is the video card. It's a ATI Rage Pro 128. And then I'll quickly pull out the RAM, see what's up with that. Whoops. So that's a 512 meg stick. There's only 3 RAM slots in this thing. And that is all, it doesn't say how much it is. I assume it's a 64 gig DIMM, or whatever this thing uses. That's a healthy amount of RAM. It's definitely not the max, which, if I remember correctly, but don't quote me, is 1.5 gigs max memory. I don't know if the hard drive is original. I really want to get a power supply for it. Probably shouldn't be getting it along my desk. I'm going to pull the battery out real quick because those things are spicy a lot of the time. And that looks original. What's the date on this thing? It does not have a date, and that worries me. But it says SAFT. And I don't know how to pull the hard drive out. Looks like you have some Torx screws. And I'm not wanting to do that tonight. There's no airport cards. There's no Wi-Fi. Which is fine. It's fine by me. But I gotta finish cleaning up this tape residue. Oh, what is happening to my camera? It is lagging behind quite substantially now. But if you guys would like to see an update video when I get the other tough books, I've been rambling on quite too long on this stuff. I'm sorry about that. I just tend to go off topic. There's one more item that I would like to show you guys, and that is my Steam Deck. I finally broke down and got one. I ended up trading my main desktop plus some cash on his end for this. It came with a third-party dock, which I gave to my brother because I don't plan to play on it docked. It is in my opinion, I have enough computers. I don't need a dock for it. except I do have an OTG adapter I use, but it has a 1 terabyte micro SD card that came with it, and it is the 512 gig LCD model. If you guys didn't know, the LCD model underneath the thumbsticks is white, on the OLED it's black. But I gave it the PS3 startup off of CSS Loader, I think that's what it's called. But if you guys haven't looked into the Steam Deck, or if you're looking into getting the Steam Deck for emulation, I cannot tell you where to get your ROMs or how, but definitely use Emulation Station. I tried EmuDeck, darn it, I mixed it up again. This is EmuDeck. I much prefer it over RetroDeck because I had some problems with my PS3 emulator. Whoops. Because even with these 5 games here, Little Big Planet 2, Thieves in Time doesn't work, but the Sly Collection does. I don't know what is going on, but I have 50 games in the Atari, 80 Super TurboGrafx 16 games, 372 and 64 games, a massive amount of NES games and ROM hacks and stuff, 150 Game Boy games, 529 Game Boy Advance games, a bunch of Game Boy Color games from different regions and ROM hacks, 108 GameCube games, 784 Super Nintendo games, also with ROM hacks in different regions, 35 Game Gear, same with the Genesis, bunch of regions different, ROM hacks, and PS1. I have 262, PS2 is 3. All the PS2 games I have gotten to work. But a interesting fact about the N64 games is there was a prototype game in here. That is Robotech Crystal Dreams. That was never finished, but somebody online finished it and uploaded it. So, in my opinion, it's a terrible game. I much prefer Battlecry on the PS2. But if you guys would like to see an overview, I guess I have an update on the beta channel. Let's see what's new on the update. Added battery charge limit. Thought they did that already. Fix the case where the performance overlay could appearing could not be disabled. Fixed an issue where exiting a game from the overlay could result in UI getting stuck. Desktop mode no longer erroneously nag. The user to install power profiles. Added support for updating controller systems for Legion OS. Yeah, so nothing really out of the ordinary. I'll apply it later, but there's one thing that I came across that was posted to Reddit. I need my library. But if you go to your library and you scroll down and it refreshes and snaps back to the top, and you have what is it called? Decky. Darn it, that's not what I wanted. I guess I am cursing. Yeah, it's called Decky, and you go down to your Steam Grid DB, and you turn off square capsules. That's all it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, update my Steam Deck, try and organize this stuff, clean off the other desk, get the computer set up in a relatively organized manner, hopefully before I go to bed. So yeah, if you guys want to see an update on the Toughbooks and the rugged tablet when they get here, excuse me, I will definitely do a video on it. Just a quick overview. It won't be 20 minutes like this video. But yeah, just let me know, and I'll see you guys later.